Okay, component of a system. A system consists of four components: input, process, output, and feedback. Some sources list the components of a system as only three, which is input, process, and also output. Input refers to the entering of data into the system. Processing means converting the data into information, and output is the production of valuable information in the form of documents or reports. And lastly, feedback refers to the information from the system to make changes to the input or processing. Okay. In a typical information system, for instance, if we try to relate that with the ETS ticketing online, you can see that the input will be the date and time, the destination that the passengers enter into the system. And then the ETS online ticketing system will do the processing and to see whether there are seats available, and then display that to the passenger, and the passenger will, well, depends if there are available seats, choose the seats and make payment. If there is no available seats, then choose another date. Okay, so that's part of the processing. And the output will be, for the passenger's point of view, will be the ticket itself. Okay, but you also have to think of the train managers, right? Or whoever in the KTM who is using the online system to get output. So, for example, the train managers wants to know who are how many people are traveling within that day to a particular destination. Okay, so the input will be from that train manager's perspective is the date and time, um, destination, departing station, and also destination station. Um, and then by a submit of a button, there you go. The reports of the list of passengers and also the total amount of passengers will be made available to the train managers. Okay. So that is how you would relate this concept to the online ticketing system. And if that online ticketing system has some um, features that allow feedback to be given to the respective parties, right, to the train managers or to whoever, so that is the feedback component of the system. Okay, information system can be manual based or computer based. Manual means that the information system, the input, processing, and output involves lack of computers. Calculations are done manually using a calculator, perhaps, as you can see in the picture on your left. And whatever output that is being produced out of that processing will be stored in a file cabinet. So in folders, as you can see, papers are being stacked on shelves, right? And the focus of this class is definitely not manual. It's going to be computer-based information system, the one that you see on your right. So using computers, the processing can be done more efficiently. With software nowadays, information can be presented in various forms easily, such as charts and graphs. So the production of this type of reports can be done in a more efficient manner. So charts, graphs, and all that, those are basically information, right, that has been transformed from data. A computer-based information system, by definition, is a single set of hardware, software, databases, telecommunications, people, and procedure that are configured to collect, manipulate, store, and process data into information. So as you can see that this is more or less similar definition to the earlier slides. But the earlier slide, it talks about a set of interrelated components. For this definition, it specifies those components. The components of an information system has six. There are six components of information system. These components should be included in an IS infrastructure. So in any information system, its infrastructure, so when we talk about IS infrastructure, must include the hardware, the software, the databases, the telecommunications, people, and also procedure. So we're gonna go into each of the component. First is the hardware. Hardware is computer equipment used to perform input, processing, storage, and output activities. As you can see in this picture, there are hardware used for input, such as the keyboard, for processing, such as the CPU, the storage, such as the hard disk, your USB disk, and also you would have the printer as an output device. This hardware cannot be operated without a software. Software are computer programs that governs the operation of the computer. Of course, if you Google software, there are many definitions, but you are free to choose whichever definition that you feel makes sense to you. There are two types of software, basically: system software and application software. So what are the differences between the two? Well, the first one, system software, controls the basic computer operations. Like for every devices, there must be program drivers, right? You must install the driver for that hardware in order for that hardware to work. Many years ago, these driver programs are being installed or being installed through CDs, but nowadays these drivers are being downloaded and installed automatically. There are many components, there are many hardware in a computer, so all these hardwares requires drivers. The running of these components, right, are being governed through a system software called operating systems. Like for example, Windows 10 is an operating system. Your computer cannot boot without this operating system. Your hardware cannot work without the program drivers. Okay. The next type of software is application software, which allows you to do specific tasks. Example of this are software that you use every day: Microsoft Office suites, Google Calendar, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge. These are application software. Another point I want to make is that software can be used by three different groups. Okay, the first group will be individual, a personal. You yourself are using this software for your own productivity, for instance. You're using Microsoft Word to type documents. There are also software that is used by a limited number of people in a group, say for example for a department. Okay, a software that is used by that specific department. Example of software that is used by a department is finance software, right? That is being used only by the finance department. The last group will be enterprise-wide. So this particular software is being used for the enterprise. Okay, not for one single individual, not for one single group or department, but it's being used by the whole organizations. Okay, for example, will be the ERP systems, that those and enterprise-wide systems, which we will cover later on in types of business information system. Okay, next is databases. Databases are basically an organized collections of facts and information. Typically consists of two or more related files. Take the train online ticketing system example. The database for this system consists of data about passengers, data about stations, trips, payments, etc. and it says organized, right? So if you look at the images here in this slide, you can see that this data is being organized in terms of rows and columns. So you can see it clearly. But again, it is still data. It is not. It is still unprocessed. So if let's say the train managers for KTM wants to access information on specific trips on a specific day, so these train managers will access this database through the information system. Okay, next is telecommunication. An information system would need telecommunications to communicate between systems. Systems are connected through a network of computers, either through intranet connected within the organization, or extranet connects not only from within but also to the outside of the organization, or probably using internet technology. Okay, again, going back to the train online ticketing system, of course, you would see that at the counter they will use some um, programs or systems that is part of the overall information system, right? So when the cashier or the people at the counter book your ticket, or if you use the online ticketing system, when you book that ticket, that information will be sent through the internet to a server somewhere in any location. Okay, so this data is traveling from your location to a different location through the internet. So nowadays, telecommunication, network, internet is important to information system. The fifth and sixth component is people and procedure. People in the context of information system is referring to the users who use the system and gets value from that system. An example of the train online ticketing system, the user who use the system to book tickets online, and the KTM staff who access reports from the system, those falls under this component. Procedures in the context of information system refers to the strategies, methods, process, policies for using the system. In the context of online ticketing, train ticketing system, the steps to book tickets is an example of procedure. Who has access to the system is also a procedure. So those two are examples of procedures. Okay. Feel free to do this activity, the components of information system. Think of an information system that you normally used in UTP. I'm sure that there are some information systems that you know of in UTP that you use regularly, perhaps. So try to relate this information system to the component. And also, I need to remind you that, or please take note of this, that all these information systems, right, they have a name. Okay, for the online ticketing system for ETS, they have a name for it. For example, UTP, you have UCampus, that is a name for that information system. Okay, just to give it some branding, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, this is also an activity, again similar to the activity before this on UTP, but this one is this particular information system. So, okay, you see this image. What name do you think that you can give to this information system, or what is this information is all about? If you answer this is information system that allows customers to buy food online, then you are correct. Okay. Based on this information system, try to relate that with the components of IS. Okay.